On March 2nd, Norwalk's Planning and Zoning Commission holds a public hearing on the proposed 77-unit luxury apartment buildings at 1 Cemetery Street, the former Wells Fargo Bank. This large complex across from our historic cemetery and on the edge of Mill Pond will have over 130 bedrooms and some retail office space. A significant portion of these apartments will be at full market rate rents. This layout was designed only to maximize the developer's profits, and with a minimal setback and necessity for on-street parking, they need the city and state to reduce Cemetery Street to 1 lane and for northbound traffic on Gregory to yield to traffic from Cemetery into a single lane.
Okay, Greg Del Rio, professional engineer, state of Connecticut, traffic engineer for Hardesty and Hanover. Cemetery Street is currently 2 lanes without any parking or bike lanes or other facilities, and a sidewalk on one street. So I'm just going to talk about in front of the site. There will be now curbside parking along both sides, East Avenue and Cemetery Street. The big change is narrowing Cemetery Street from 2 lanes down to 1 lane. And when we sat with Connecticut DOT as well as the city, so far, there's been no objections to that. You're coming out and you're either continue to make the right on Gregory, or you come out and you just join the roundabout sort of treatment and come around as a single lane. Not an overwhelming amount of traffic generated from the development. However, there are trips being generated, obviously.
We're willing to meet again at the appropriate time, that we have a better feeling as to what exactly can be done for more feedback. We're not, we encourage the feedback.
They promised to include you in the design phase, but then held closed-door meetings with city staff, cherry-picking items from a public amenities bonus menu that allows for this intensified development.
So there are a boundless number of conversations that I have or my staff has with people with ideas of what they want to do. Some applications we work with the applicant for a long period of time before it even gets to the commission. Because I'm not a traffic engineer, but I can offer an opinion on whether something complies or not. I'm not an architect, but I can offer my opinion on whether something is a good design, it has good value to the streetscape, it's in good placemaking practice and those kind of things. So we're kind of a jack of all trades on things. We're not a specific expert in any one field, but I would say that when we put a memo in the record, it's considered expert testing.
And those so-called public amenities, they're cheap to install and maintain, are hidden in the rear, easily mistaken as private property, and mostly benefit the developer and tenants, not the public. The rooftop terrace and the movie screen are for tenants only, and if approved, will amplify noise across the pond. The hypothetical taxpayer-funded city pier into Mill Pond is penciled in to qualify as a required water-dependent use. A DEEP source told us that this pipe dream will never be allowed due to nesting swans, future sea level rise, and environmental impacts.
The plan is done. We've done the plan, we've adopted the plan. The only thing that's really new or different is how we broke out the amenities in the point system. We've already done that exercise. We did that exercise for about 2 years.
Our building will look just like, you close your eyes, you open it, you think you're in Nantucket. That's the type of facade and look of the marine-oriented look that we're looking to achieve. And that's what the building will look like. This is a very low-density development for 1.6 acres, and if it does come to 80 units, that is not a lot of units if you look around Norwalk with other projects. And again, we're not going high here. We're not going 7, 8 stories. We're in some places you're allowed. We're only going 3.5 stories. So it's a low profile, low density project, at least from real estate terms. That's really what it's defined as.
Despite property owner developer Michael Descala's broken promises of a tasteful scale and nautical Nantucket-style architecture, the P&Z commissioners continue to greenlight this.
The colors that we're seeing in that drawing, yes. Do they reflect what you expect the actual colors to be?
Important issues not being addressed are gridlock and road rage during the peak summer season, obstacles to fire, police, and ambulance emergency response time, impacts on an already aging and failing infrastructure, increased demand for water, sewer, and education services, noise, air, light, and glare pollution, along with the negative impact on wildlife. The natural serenity and beauty of Mill Pond may be lost forever. Yes, we all want beautification, new sidewalks, and small businesses, but please don't be fooled by pretty pictures and fancy lingo from those on the developer's payroll.
So this is the view of the south end of the green as you come around. The corner of the cemetery is kind of here. This is East Avenue, if you can see my highlight there. And then this is what's seen as the anchor building. So that's kind of a mercantile or a hall building. So we'd like that to be kind of an anchor for that corner. And then moving on down, we had these this more or less a commercial strip anchoring the south end of the green. We saw this as, I think I termed these the Three Sisters. And then we have the mansion and then the Italianate, and then there's a little outbuilding on the corner. So we've just worked to refine the detailing and the materials palette and how those buildings engage the street, and also the scale and mass. So by playing with the different roof lines, going between flat and pitched roofs, and changing the architectural style, we feel we've achieved a varied composition and something that's going to benefit the neighborhood and really, make this a place to be on the south end of the green.
Their traffic engineer says no significant impacts. Their attorney never sees congestion there. Their landscape architect depicts 20-foot trees. Their engineer wants to reduce polluted runoff that's gone unchecked for decades by Mr. DeScala and the city of Norwalk. Just like other Spinnaker developments that lack on-site green space, our historic cemetery will soon become a mound of doggy waste. Please urge the commissioners to modify this to reflect our suggestions. Ask them not to let this precedent become a blueprint for every parcel on East Avenue. Please don't ignore developers and tax revenue greed that will result in the gentrification of East Norwalk. It's time to speak up now and at the public hearing on March 2nd. For more info and a toolkit with everything to get involved, please sign up at eastnorwalk.org.